Alright, we're gonna start. We're rolling? Okay. Hi everyone. Hey, welcome to our little picket line. We're YouTube Music. We work for Cognizant and Google. And the speakers, we have workers and allies for our little press conference. They've all got all the good stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hand it off, starting with Jack.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? You fired up? Yeah! Awesome. My name is Jack. I work for the YouTube Music Content Operations team here in Austin. I'm also a proud member of the Alphabet Workers Union. Today, my coworkers and I joined writers, actors, nurses, auto workers, and many others on strike in a massive resurging labor movement that we have not seen in decades. Yeah! Woo-hoo! So shortly after unanimously winning our vote to unionize, the National Labor Relations Board ruled that we are jointly employed by both Cognizant and Google. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, this is something both companies have denied. Yeah. Google appealed this case, but they lost again. Yeah! Loser! And with no more appeals left, Google decided to just flat out ignore the NLRB's decision. They cite it as erroneous legal theory. But this erroneous legal theory happens to be national law. And Google, you are breaking the law. Refusing to come to the table is illegal. This does not mean Cognizant, Google's contractor, is off the hook. Regardless of the joint employer ruling, Cognizant is unambiguously our employer. Yet they too refuse to come to the table. Instead, Cognizant has been relentlessly and illegally making unilateral workplace changes. This includes getting rid of sick pay amidst a COVID surge and getting rid of the ability to take unpaid time off, something many of us rely on as touring musicians. Right. Instead, they've replaced it with negative PTO, in which if you have no hours of PTO in your account and you take time off, you literally owe the company. Picture this. It's mid-August, you're a brand new employee at YouTube Music. You see you have 40 hours of COVID sick pay in your account, but 3 days later, magically disappears. A new policy says that it's not necessary anymore. However, since you're brand new, you don't have any PTO because we acquire it at a rate of 11 hours a month. So, let's say a month from then, mid-September, you get sick. You have no PTO or sick pay. What can you do? You have to go into the office sick or owe the company by going into negative PTO. This is not just a hypothetical. This is a very real situation many of my coworkers are facing, and it is completely unacceptable. This is exactly why we are ready to bargain for a fair contract that respects us, not just as workers, but as people too. So I was originally going to wrap up my speech here, but just yesterday, with an hour left in the shift, we were all summoned, the entire team, to a meeting room with management. They cited an audit of the facility that showed security risks. And then we were then informed of a new policy set to go into effect on Monday. This new policy states we cannot have any personal items in the office. This includes food, accessories like hats, books, even planners and notebooks, pencils, and yes, we can't have our cell phones in the office floor. This poses a great safety threat to all of us and is especially dangerous for those of us with children at home. If they want to demoralize and dishearten us, they picked a bad time to do it because we are now more fired up than ever. Yeah! this is an uphill battle is an understatement. This isn't a story of David versus Goliath. This is David versus two Goliaths. Google and Cognizant, both Fortune 500 companies that are doing everything they can to stop our union. But we remain optimistic. Our team may be small, but we are mighty, and we are not alone. Thank you to all of our allies who have showed up here today. We will continue to fight, not just for ourselves at YouTube Music, but for workers all across the world. Thank you.
That was awesome, Jack. Hi, my name is Liana, and I've been working for YouTube Music for 4 years. We're on a ULP strike today because our joint employers, Google and Cognizant, refuse to bargain with our union. We know, and the National Labor Relations Board knows, that Google is our employer.
Yeah!
But even after the NLRB has twice ruled that Google is in fact our employer, the company refuses to bargain our first union contract with us because they don't believe it. They don't believe that they're our employer. This is corporate delusion, and it's illegal.
Yeah!
Since we went public with our intention to unionize, both Google and our third-party employer, Cognizant, went to great lengths to prove that they were not co-employers. Before we went on our first ULP strike in February, my team used to have weekly meetings with full-time Google employees. But after the strike, the meetings with Googlers stopped, and questions about resuming the meetings went unanswered. Cognizant retaliated to our unionization by mandating that everyone on our team return to office, including people who didn't even live in Austin at the time. But this time, they were in a Cognizant-owned building rather than our previous Google-owned building. And last week, after multiple people in that office, including myself, tested positive for COVID, don't worry, I'm negative now, our employers refused to offer us COVID tests because we were not working from a Google-owned building. These two Fortune 500 companies are so petty and heartless that they're willing to put their workers' health and safety at risk just to prove a point. Luckily, our union stepped in where our employees failed and provided everyone with COVID tests. We want Google and Cognizant to meet us at the bargaining table because we need fair policies that protect the health and safety of workers. As Jack mentioned earlier, right now we don't have COVID leave, we don't have unpaid time off, and we don't get regular PTO. Right. We are beyond ready to bargain a contract with these evil corporations. We need more than 17 days off a year. We should be able to take unpaid time off, and we should have a separate bank of sick time. Like, what? While Google and Cognizant make changes to our work policies and conditions constantly that make things worse for all of us, they continue to deny that they're our joint employers. But the fact is, Cognizant signs our paychecks, and we work on Google products every single day.
That's right.
So I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with my fellow coworkers and other unions who have joined the fight. We're banding together to tell Google and Cognizant, you are our employers. We know it, you know it, and the NLRB knows it. You are breaking the law by refusing to bargain with us. Google, Cognizant, it's time to do the right thing and come to the table and bargain with your workers.
That's right.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from James.
Good morning. My name is James Owens, and I am a worker at YouTube Music. I've been employed at this company since November of 2020, and to think that I should stand here before you all today as a union on ULP strike against our employers would be an utterly fanciful idea to me 3 years ago. I am proud of how far we have come in our collectivization efforts in these past few months. The simple truth is this: both Google and Cognizant are our employers, as ruled on twice now by the National Labor Relations Board. At this very moment, we, the union, are allowed to begin negotiating over details of our contract with our employers. Yet, these companies continue to illegally refuse to negotiate. We need a contract that is going to work for everybody, not just the people up top. These are two of the richest companies in the world, collecting billions and billions of dollars each year, and yet me, my coworkers, my friends, continue to live paycheck to paycheck in order to support themselves and their families. To all of my fellow workers at YouTube Music, we have the irrevocable right to bargain with our employers, Google and Cognizant. We have the absolute right to negotiate over our contract that determines our benefits, our working conditions, and our pay. They thank us for creating record profits, yet they refuse to sit down with us. Today, we are shutting down business as usual because our employers continue to commit illegal business practices. We are here to raise our voices and show everyone the ugly side of Google and Cognizant. And we will continue to do so until they cease these illegal operations and meet with us at the bargaining table. Katie's next.
Yikes. It's a couple of tough acts to follow. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a worker organizer at the Alphabet Workers Union, and I work on the YouTube Music Content Operations team here in Austin, Texas. In July, the National Labor Relations Board upheld that Google is a joint employer of me and my coworkers, meaning that they dictate key aspects of our working conditions and therefore must collectively bargain with us. Google cannot appeal this ruling further, yet in an email sent to our negotiating committee, they said, Google will not be participating in collective bargaining in connection with this unit. Since we gained union recognition through a unanimous vote, Cognizant has made many changes to our working conditions without consulting us. Their legal team has advised them to operate under the erroneous legal theory that they cannot engage in bargaining with us while Google is appealing the joint employer ruling. Fucking bullshit. Given that this is a grievous violation of federal law, we have filed an unfair labor practice charge, and we're here today on the picket line to say enough is enough with the union busting, and now it's time to meet us at the bargaining table. About half of Google's workforce are TVCs, temps, vendors, and contractors. In contrast to full-time employees who rightfully receive generous salaries and benefits, workers like us in the extended workforce are denied our fair share of the profits, and we're treated like second-class citizens. Being denied our right to collectively bargain with Google and Cognizant over pay, benefits, and working conditions is therefore an existential threat to me and my friends. Fragmentation of the workplace by means of this two-tiered contracting system is itself a form of union busting. Yeah. All of the big players in tech, Meta, Apple, Netflix, Google, and Amazon, use this model to divide and conquer their workers and to make it nearly impossible for workers to gain power in numbers. It's gross. It's pretty slimy. Another pretty gross side effect of Google's two-tiered system is the mass outsourcing of jobs by the contracting companies with whom they partner, like Cognizant. Google is on record claiming that their employment model is to have full-time employees develop workflows, then outsource the work to TVCs, then outsource again to other countries until the work can ultimately be fully automated via AI, and eventually all of the employees can be terminated to reduce labor costs and maximize profits. Sundar makes $240 million a year, so it's not all right. It's really gross. Cognizant treats its employees as a deployable pool of labor rather than highly skilled human beings with rights. And we're also really cool. With cool pants. When a Cognizant employee's job is finally outsourced to AI by Google, they are placed on a deployable bench where they are terminated at will or placed on another project without their consent. Usually, it's not anything in line with their skills or previous work experience. There's little to no career development or opportunities for upward mobility at Cognizant, making it pretty pointless for workers to stick around. which makes it nearly impossible for them to form a union. Our employers have intentionally eroded the quality of our work experience in the hope that we all quit and give up on building real worker power. Obviously, they failed. Outsourcing firms such as Cognizant create a brick wall between workers and decision makers. When workers raise demands for transparency and democracy in the workplace, they are given powerless middle managers whose catchlines are, "Well, that's above my pay grade," and "I don't have the power to address your demands." Confronted with this barrier of weaponized incompetence, we have no choice but to force the dialogue into the negotiating room where we can speak as equals. We don't organize in isolation. We have Restaurant Workers United here. We have National Nurses United. We don't do this alone. We're proud to be a part of this year's massive hot strike summer, as workers across the nation have no choice but to withhold their labor in an effort to get to the bargaining table. The TLDR is that Google is a union-busting company, they're evil, and they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your support today, and solidarity to all striking workers. And I'm going to pass it over to Rick now.
Thank you, Katie. Let's give a hand to the folks who just spoke. That's amazing. Thank you. Are y'all ready to fight? Yeah. Are you ready to fight? Damn right. Are you ready to fight? Damn right. All right, let's go. All right. My name is Rick Levy. I'm the president of the Texas AFL-CIO. For those of you who do not know, the Texas AFL-CIO represents over 240,000 union members across the state. And our presence here is our way of saying to you, we got your back and we're going to be with you to the very end. Yeah. One day longer, one day stronger. That's the way we're going to be. So, I can't really build on what y'all said. You all said it with your live stories what everybody needs to understand here. Because today, the main thing about today is that it is not business as usual. Am I right? I think I'm right. What is business as usual? Well, it's like Katie said. What business as usual is workers who work in your field are treated as expendable, disposable. They are moved around like pieces on a checkers board with no regard for their dignity or their livelihoods. And business as usual is people take that, they go on to another job, they stick it out for as long as they can. They don't see a different path, and they just move on, and the system continues to churn and grind people up. That is business as usual. Today is not business as usual. Business as usual also that employers know what they're doing. They know the law moves slow. And their strategy is to wait you out, to raise stupid-ass argument after stupid-ass argument to just keep the clock running until y'all give up. Are y'all giving up? No! I didn't think you were. All right. But here's the thing. What Google and what Cognizant did not count on was the Alphabet Workers Union. What Google and Cognizant did not count on was people, ordinary people, except they're very extraordinary. Extraordinary, ordinary people saying, no, there is a different way. We are worth something, and we will be treated like we are worth the human beings that we are. Yeah. And so your presence and what you've done is literally changing the world. Do you think that Google would fight so hard if what was at stake was the dozens of people who are on strike right now? Is that what this fight is about? No. This fight is not about, well, this fight is about your jobs, but this fight is about the future of your industry. Yeah. And who is going to stand up for the workers in this industry if it's not y'all? Right. And so look at what's going on around you today. And you referenced it, Jack. You have striking actors. You have striking writers. You have striking auto workers. You have striking retail workers. You have striking baristas. You have people all across this country that are saying, no, we have a different vision of what the world should be. And I just want to talk for 1 second about the auto workers and their connection to what y'all are doing, because I think this is really important. Back when the Auto Workers Union started, there were no unions in the auto industry, and those were shitty jobs. There was nothing in the Constitution and nothing that's written that says that auto workers should have a job where people can support their families, have health care, retire with dignity, send their kids to school. Nowhere was that written. But some folks sat down and said, no, we have a different vision. And the auto workers became the engine that drove the creation of the middle class in this country. They put themselves on the line, and then the auto workers would set the standards for all the other industries. When they got a raise, everybody got a raise. And so now look at what's happening now. They're on strike to continue that fight. But what are you doing? You are doing the exact same thing. What you do, and when you win, the entire industry will be changed. Decades from now, people will look back at this and say, this was the spark that lit the flame that burnt the whole industry to a place where workers were treated with dignity and respect. That's what you are doing. That is why so many union folks who aren't AWU, let's give them a shout. You here? That's why so many union folks are here today with you. Because it is all of our struggles. It is all of our fight together. And when we stick together, we can make history. So, when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we strike, we win. When we fight, we win. When we strike, we win. All right, let's win. Thank you all.
One more round of applause for our speakers. A round of applause for our allies who showed up to support us. A round of applause for the press who amplified our voices today. And a round of applause for our chief negotiator, Connie the contractor, who sadly perished at the bargaining table waiting for Google and Cognizant to join us. All right. When I say union, you say power. Union. 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 Power. All right. All right. Yeah. Let's do.